Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Bitcoin Prediction. In this particular episode, I'm going to talk about the whole IRS situation with Coinbase, or actually specifically with the law firm. Let me actually get into it here. Hold on. Let's see here. Hold on. Okay, here it is. All right. So, Burns Weiss LLP, also known as, I guess, Jeffrey K. Burns. So here's, I don't know what this is, emotion. I don't know what the hell emotion is. I'm not an attorney. I don't know the ins and outs, but fortunately, I can read. And I think I have a good understanding of what I'm reading. Okay, so I don't know the ins and outs of court, but I can read. And I highly recommend that you take the time to read this. And this is kind of where I got it from. Let me see here if it will pop up. Okay. Oh, there we go. Let's just take this all the way to the top. There we go. All right. Coinbase customer responds to IRS opposition. So basically, what happened was IRS, they just want a list of names. All right. Of Coinbase users around 2013 to 2015, basically all Bitcoiners, because Coinbase didn't offer Ethereum, at that time, so it was only Bitcoin that they offered. So basically they're looking for a list of Bitcoiners. A list of Bitcoiners is what they're after. Okay. And so of course, Coinbase has got their thing going, but a customer of Coinbase, Jeffrey Burns, stepped in and said, "Hey, this ain't good. We got to stop this." And so the IRS response was, "Oh, well, we know who you are, so we're going to take you off the list of requested, list of names." Okay, which is kind of weird. And in this thing here, Jeffrey Burns or his law firm kind of says, well, that's kind of weird. Why would you want a whole, the John Doe summons? Basically, you just want a whole bunch of list of names, but because I'm putting up a legal battle with you, all of a sudden you're going to take me off the list. Now I have no legal, I have no reason to have a legal battle with you. Something's fishy. They're acting on bad faith, everybody. Bad faith. And I believe that to be true from what I could tell from his arguments, and basically the whole attitude of the IRS, of the state, the whole attitude that they have they haven't done any work to show any Coinbase user not complying with tax compliance. No evidence whatsoever. They come up with 3 instances. One which doesn't have anything to do with Coinbase. From what I said, one doesn't even have to. Just the person used Bitcoin. That was it. The person used Bitcoin, and the other 2, they used Bitcoin, but apparently they could have used just about anything. They could have used goats. Anyways, it seems kind of weak. They want millions and millions of names. They want a list. They want a database of Bitcoin users, because 3 people who use Bitcoin try not to pay their taxes or something like that. So they want millions and millions of people because of 3 people who didn't want to pay their taxes. Well, there's like more than 3 people who don't want to pay their taxes with the US dollar that have bank accounts, but you don't see them going after every bank and getting a list of, well, not that they need a list, they probably already share the information, but it seems like they're really acting on bad faith. Really acting on bad faith. So I would highly recommend you go ahead and read this thing. Let me see. It's basically here's the website. That's the whole website right there. There's the link on top. That's pretty much the article. I think if you go onto it, there might be something here. I don't know. No, maybe not. Well, there's the article. The article kind of briefly talks about it, and then the actual document is right here. That you just click right here, and pretty much this comes up. Now, my prediction, I would highly read this. It's public information now. It's available to everybody. Read it. I mean, it's from what I could tell, it really seems like they're just going on a fishing expedition to gather a database of Bitcoin users, and that's it. That's all they want, is they want a database of Bitcoin users. Why? You know, there's something seems to be very sinister going on here. And another interesting thing that I noticed was the date in which this, I guess it's a motion, I'm not sure what it is, was filed. Because if you look at the date, anybody see the date? What day was this filed? It was filed on Genesis Day. Does any people see that? It was filed on Genesis Day. Of all the days for this to be filed, it was filed on Genesis Day. Now, I don't know if Jeffrey Burns planned it that way. Is it coinky dink? I mean, what is going on here? So my prediction is that the IRS will be denied. Will be denied that summons. The IRS will be blocked from getting a list of Bitcoin users. And it's kind of interesting. They want, going back to 2013, Coinbase was around before 2013. So why 2013? 2013 to 2015. Why those particular dates? Well, I think the IRS can only go back 3 years. So it's 2016, 2015, 14, 13. The IRS can, I think, only go back 3 years, I'm assuming. Or at least, I know when I file taxes, I can only redo my taxes up to 3 years back. So, that I just find it mind-blowing. I mean, anyways, this whole thing doesn't make any sense. And to resolve this, really all the IRS has to do is come up with some kind of way or procedure to, I don't know, come up with a clearer or better, you know, compliance, right? Guidance. That's all they have to do. Come up with guidance, a better guidance. I mean, just follow the recommendations of, what is that? The tax inspector or something like that. Treasury Department tax inspector or something like that. That's all they have to do is just come up with, just follow those guidelines on what to do to get a better understanding of the guidance of tax compliance on Bitcoin. That's all they have to do. But instead of doing that, they just chose to go right after the Bitcoin users. Something's wrong here. I agree with Jeffrey Burns. Something's amiss. This is bad faith. Completely bad faith. So this goes back to my little artwork here. What kind of person would act on bad faith? Well, a person who doesn't want to act on good faith. And so if you look really close, I guess you could say this is a meme as well, but you're probably very familiar with this. These are Agent Smith from the IRS. Agent Smith has some shortcomings. Agent Smith acts on bad faith. Hence the 6 underneath the eye, the little 6 tattoo underneath the eye. You see that? And of course you see that there, right there, IRS, Department of the Treasury, Internal Revenue Service. So Agent Smith, or Smiths, 3 of them. Agent number 6, Smith. Agent number 6, Smith, and agent number 6, Smith. 666. These agents are acting on bad faith. So my prediction for 2017 is that the IRS will not be allowed to get a database list of names of Bitcoin users from 2013 to 2015. As far as I can tell, I mean, it really does, from what I can see and what I can read and the arguments from Jeffrey Byrne, it really does seem of all the things they could have done, they chose to act on bad faith and abuse, obviously try to abuse. I mean, this is a really abuse of powers. I think Congress has to strip away some of these powers. Because if this is what's going to be like, no one's going to ever pay taxes. You're going to be like Greece. It's going to be like Greece. No one pays taxes. Everyone's going to buy Bitcoin and or even worse, Monero or Zero Cash. These are nano coins. And then you'll never receive a penny from anyone. Wouldn't it be easier if people just, complied, did their, just paid their taxes? Wouldn't that be just easier? Instead of, doing what the IRS is trying to do? I mean, it just sounds very, very sinister. And like I said, in my previous video, where I talk about, um, you know, there's certain groups of population in America that have a deeply, a very, very deep distrust for the state. Now you're just going to have more people, more groups that are going to have a deep distrust for the state. And then if they're going to have a deep distrust for the state, they're going to have a deep distrust for law enforcement, a deep distrust for the politicians, the system as a whole. I mean, it's going to get so oppressive to the point where nobody wants to pay their taxes. Nobody wants to file anything. Nobody wants to go to the bank. Nobody wants to go to Coinbase. Nobody wants to go anywhere. You won't know anything that goes on. So bad faith here. This is bad faith. So my prediction is IRS will not get a list. They will not be getting a list. They just there's other ways of finding people who are not complying with their taxes. Getting a list blindly on bad faith, getting a list is not one of them. You're gonna have to do your job. I don't care if you have the resources or not. If you don't have the resources, well, maybe you should ask for more, which I don't think they're gonna really do. Or this isn't really worth it, right? This is, Bitcoiners don't make a lot of money. All right, they don't make a lot of money. Your average Bitcoiner doesn't make a lot of money. So why would you want a list of millions of Bitcoiners who don't even make enough money to even pay taxes? Okay. Anyways, my prediction is they're not going to get it. They're not going to get the list. Just do your job and put some clearer guidance out there. And sharpen your pencil or roll up your sleeve and do your job. So that's my prediction. Anyways, feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even a video response. Until next time, stay tuned.